everybody. My name is Chloe Hudson, and my website is worldpeaceprojects.global. Thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to focus on the victim-aggressor dynamic and how to navigate this. We have all experienced being a victim, or if we've noticed, also being an aggressor in this type of situation. And another way I will term it is an agreement. Because if we accept the universal truth that everything in our environment, everything in our reality is our responsibility, it is our creation. If you know this, whether this be through and through or in theory, simply by grounding this understanding first and foremost, always registering and being able to come back to the knowing that everything that you experience in your life, does not matter how major or seemingly insignificant the detail is your creation. It's your responsibility. So having this as a base foundation is a wonderful way to start the experience of realizing that you're in a situation where let's take it from the victim standpoint, okay? So you're having an experience, you're getting upset, you're moving into being victimized, and you're about to react or respond to that. If you have the ability to stop and register first and foremost, everything in your life is your creation, your responsibility, okay? So right there, with that knowing, you have the ability to say, wait a minute, I can maintain or take back my power in this situation because it's my responsibility. So whatever I'm feeling, whatever's happening, has to do with me and my perspective. This individual or this event or this situation, whatever it may be, is simply projecting onto me my issue. They're reflecting back to me some kind of inner conflict, inner turmoil that lights me up, is how I say it, and shifts me into the possible reaction and standpoint of a victim. If you can do this, if you can stop yourself right there, you've already taken back your power. Now all you have to do is figure out how. Okay, so now you have to recognize, why am I feeling like a victim right now? What are they reflecting back to me, and what's my responsibility in this situation? This does not mean that you take full responsibility for the situation. There's always many different elements going on. They obviously play their own role. But in my viewpoint, as a soul, we make agreements. We have contracts, and since everything is our responsibility in our creation, on some level, you have agreed to have this exchange. Let's just say, for purpose of this explanation, that you're talking to another individual. On some level, most likely, there is an extremely small percentage in these types of situations that you did not make this agreement on some level. So most likely, you have made an agreement with this individual for you both to reflect each other's issues, so you offer yourself the possibility of learning a very valuable lesson, okay? And this is important because now once you've registered, okay, I'm getting upset, something's going on inside of me and I need to figure it out because I'm moving into the victim. If you do that, then you can start to be detective and say, okay, what's happening? What am I feeling? And you can turn that around. I'm feeling upset. What are they reflecting to me? Now, before you even go into and figure out what it is that's actually being conveyed right now, what it is that you're trying to get yourself to understand, something is alive in you right now that you're trying to learn how to understand more of yourself and heal it so that next time you don't get triggered in this exact situation, okay? Now, another way to look at victim-aggressor agreements. The victim utilizes this energy as a protection, as a shield. You're vulnerable, you're exposed. So if you bring up a victimization energy, you can block whatever it is that's coming in, even though the victim takes kind of a painful, the wounded warrior Chiron type of energy, it's still a shield. It's a technique to deflect, okay? So while you're telling yourself you're victimized, you're the one that's in pain, you've had something done to you that's unfair, unjust, to put somebody in an aggressor point of view, to put them in this role, what's happening, and one way to look at it, is the victim is actually being the aggressor. Okay? Now, sometimes this is hard to take, and I would advise you when you're looking at this type of explanation, use something small. Please don't put this on top of a very huge life traumatic experience of victim-aggressor. Start with something a bit more insignificant, like a tiff with your loved one, somebody cut in line in front of you, something smaller that you know you will get over eventually anyway with time. Though it would be nice not to even go into victim mode. It's easier to understand, to be more objective, if you take a victim-aggressor situation that is a bit more lighthearted than something that has been deeply traumatic for you. So you move into victim role. Okay, you say, this person is wrong, they're treating me like this, I don't appreciate it, you. Okay? Well, what's actually happening is the victim is blaming and throwing negative energy darts, shooting energy at the aggressor, okay? Now, the aggressor may be doing the exact same thing, but for the purpose of this understanding, you're trying to work on yourself. So it really doesn't matter if you get to the place of taking responsibility for your energy, what they're doing, okay? This is about you. This is about helping self. So in this situation, when you take on victim role, the victim is actually tricking self and saying, I'm in pain, I need help, I'm the one that's needing support here. But the fact of the matter is that the victim is putting the energy, throwing the energy, blaming another person, which actually is a passive-aggressive move. So the victim is throwing energy darts at this person and basically, you know, maybe they're ostracizing them energetically, letting them know that their point's not valid, whatever it may be. But understand that the victim's hidden agenda is to throw the energy on the other person, so first and foremost, the victim doesn't take responsibility. That's its biggest role here, is to lead you to a place to never take responsibility, okay? Because a victim can't take responsibility. It's weak. It can't help thyself. And this means that if one is to stay in victimization, they will never be able to move and rise above the situation, learn, open to love and light, and move on. So if you go into victim role, it is surefire that you are blaming and being aggressive, even if just energetically, towards what you deem to be the aggressor. And that's interesting, because that shows the mirroring here, right? You're in victim, you're being aggressive towards them in some form, which makes them, at least energetically, a victim or being victimized in this type of dynamic. But at the same time, they're aggressing to you and your victim. So here you go. Here's 360. So you're just kind of on this crazy train that's going around and round in circles. Even if you don't see how it is doing this, that is what's happening. You can stop that unhealthy cycle by first taking responsibility for yourself, because you want to feel better. You don't want to be upset. You want to be able to actually deal with this and move past it. Okay? So moving into how to actually deal with the situation is a bit of a different lesson for another time. But in regard to generally understanding victim-aggressor energies, recognize that it is always your responsibility in your life for everything that you're feeling that's happening around you, even the people coming forth to you, okay? Now, you may not be in control or command of what it is that they're saying or doing to you, but you absolutely have the ability to be in command of how you respond, how you feel, how you process. And that's what we're talking about right here, okay? I'm bringing up victim because everybody knows victim. It can be very easy to move into the victim energy, and once you've done that, you've let go of your power, and it can be very difficult to get out, and it doesn't feel good. Now, there's no good or bad. Victim and aggressor teach a very valuable lesson. So when I say to you, you're acting as victim, but actually you're being aggressive towards the aggressor, I'm not trying to say this in a way that means that either one is good or bad. It's just the dynamic of the energy that's playing out here, okay? Because a victim is just doing what it knows to do to protect thyself. But like we've talked about before, it's an antiquated tool that no longer serves you, okay? You can thank it for coming about. It served its purpose for a long time, but now there's better technology. There's more efficient techniques for you to utilize, okay, in this situation. So thank you for joining me right now. I hope I imparted some form of understanding that helps you. If you'd like a personal reading or healing, please check out my website, worldpeaceprojects.global. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.